Dear students, in this video let us discuss about the economic and ethical aspects of economic, social and ethical aspects of advertisements. Dear students, myself Dr. Narendra Rali, Assistant Professor PG Department of Commerce and Management, uh, VSN College Autonomous Ramachandrapuram. I'm here to explain you on the concept of advertising and brand management. In that, in Unit 1, let us discuss about the economic, social and ethical aspects of advertising. So, although the advertising is generally accepted as being useful business tool, there are many who question its value to society beyond its immediate commercial effect. This concern is manifested in the form of large number of criticisms which have been made both advertisers and the advertising process. A great many of these criticisms relate to what is perceived to be undesirable economic side of advertising. Now, in this video, let us first discuss about economic aspects of advertising. What are the economic aspects of advertising? Advertising is praised but also criticized by the critics in their own ways. Advertising has many positive impacts along with its negative pictures. As the president as the president of American Market Association of Advertising Agencies, John O'Toole has it described as something else. It is not related to studies, but it educates. It is not a journalist, but it gives all information. And it is not an entertaining device, but entertains everyone. Now let's go through the economic and social aspects of advertising. Mainly the economic role of advertising. The economic role of advertising can be discussed with the following points: value of products, value of products, effect on prices, value of products, effect on prices, effect on consumer demand and choices, effect on consumer demand and choices, effect on business cycle. Here, value of products. The advertised products are not always the best products in the market. There are some unadvertised products also present which are good enough. But advertising helps to increase the value for the product by showing the positive image of the product, which in turn helps the convincing customers to buy it. Advertising educates the consumers about the uses of products and hence increasing the value in minds of the consumers. For example, mobile phones were first considered as necessity, but nowadays the cell phones come with number of features which makes them the mode of convenience for customers. And the second one is effect on prices. Some advertised products do cost more than the unadvertised products, but vice versa is also a true. But if there are some more competition in the market for those products, the prices have to come down. For example, canned juices from various brands, thus some professional like chartered accountants and doctors are not allowed to advertise. But some products do not advertise much and they don't need much of it, and even their prices are high, but they are still the leaders in the market as they have the brand name. For example, cars like Maruti, Porsche, etc. And the next one is effect on consumer demand and choices. Effect on Even if the product is heavily advertised, it does not mean that the demand or say consumption rates will also increase. The product has to be different with better quality and more variety than others. For examples, Kellogg's cornflakes. You all know that Kellogg's cornflakes have variety of flavors with different ranges to offer different age groups. And now also for people who want to lose weight, thus giving consumers different choices to select from. That is the effect on consumer demand. And the next one is effect on the business cycle. Advertising no doubt helps in employing more number of people. It increases the payrolls of people working in this field. It helps collecting more revenues for sellers which they use for betterment of a product and service. But there are some bad effects of advertisements on business cycle. Sometimes consumer may find foreign product better than going for the national brand. So then this will definitely, if they do so, this will definitely affect the production and which will in turn affect the GDP of the country. Therefore, the economic aspects are supported by the abundance principle, which says producing more products and services than the consumption rate helps firstly keeping consumers informed about the options and secondly it helps sellers for playing in the healthy competitive atmosphere. The advertising, the advertising defended. See, the advertising is defended on the following economic grounds. These are like the positive points towards the economic grounds. Advertisers add psychological value to the products, leading to increased consumer satisfaction. Increased consumer adding value, adding psychological value, and thereby increasing increasing consumption. The advertisement is a means by which the demand for a product can be increased, thereby enabling economies of large scale manufacturing. Economies of large scale. The savings are then the advertising subsidizes the press and television services. It subsidizes the press and television services. And advertising communicates about the variety and quality of goods offered and stimulates competition and technical progress. Stimulates the competition. So by doing all these things, the different advertising defends itself on the basis of economic grounds. While it defends itself, there are certain criticisms in economic criticisms of advertisements. The economic criticisms of the economic criticisms of advertisements. Advertising is criticized on the following economic grounds again. The cost criticized by cost. The cost of advertising drives the product prices higher. So they would be without advertising and concentrates too much power in the hands of big advertisers. And the second one is big advertisers. And the third one, advertising relies on misleading claims and sometimes outright deception to sell products. So mislead and deceptive. It persuades people to buy products that they don't really need. So false persuasion. And the advertising, especially on TV, perpetuates stereotyped. And it is too intrusive, invading people's lives all the day with messages. Therefore, these are all the criticisms that made the economic aspects of advertisement. Social role. And the next one is social aspect or social role of advertising. There are some positive and some negative aspects of advertising on the social grounds. They are deception in advertising. The first one is to discuss is deception in advertising. The relation between the buyers and sellers is maintained if the buyers are satisfied with that what they saw in advertise and what they got after buying that product. If the seller shows a false or deceptive image and an exaggerated image of the product in the advertisement, then the relation between the seller and buyers can't be healthy. So these problems can be overcome if the seller keep their ads clean and displays the right image of the product. Therefore, the deception in advertising is one of the negative aspects on the social grounds of advertising. The subliminal advertising. The next one is the subliminal advertising. Capturing the minds of the consumers is the main intention of these ads. The ads are made in such a way that consumers don't even realize that the ad has made an impact on their minds, and this results in buying the product which they don't even need. Therefore, all ads don't impress all consumers at all times because majority of the consumer buy products on the basis of their price and needs. Therefore, capturing the minds of consumers is the main intention. The next one is effect on our value system. Effect on our value system. The advertisers use puffing tactics, endorsements from celebrities, and play emotionally, which make ads so powerful that the are like consumers like helpless, praise but though buy those products. These ads make poor people buy products which they can't afford. People picking up bad habits like smoking and drinking and buy products just because their favorite actor endorsed that product. So this affects the increase in the cost of whole society and loss of values of our own selves. And the next aspect in the social grounds is offensiveness. Some ads are so offensive that they are not acceptable by the buyers. For example, the ads of denim jeans, if you remember, the ads of denim jeans showed girls wearing they are not properly attired. Some textile ads, they and some ads which are not very close to the reality. So these kinds of ads are relevant to the particular actual product. But then there are some ads which are educative also, are now accepted by people. There are some apart from all these negative aspects on the social grounds, there are some positive aspects on the social grounds. The positive aspects of advertising in social grounds, that is development of society and growth of technologies, development of society, growth of technologies, and advertisements have socially it creates creation of employment and offers choice to buyers with self-interest, offers choice to buyers and welcomes healthy competition. Improving the standard of living, improving the standard of living, and give information on social and economical and health issues. So, apart from the negative aspects, there are also some positive aspects in the positive aspects of advertisements in the core on the basis of social grounds. Social aspects of social aspect social the social aspects of advertisement criticism that most promotional messages are tasteless and that promotion contributes nothing to the society's well-being, sometimes ignores the fact that there is no commonly accepted set of standards or priorities within our social framework. We live in a mixed economy with differing needs, wants, and aspirations. So, what is tasteless to one group may be the quite satisfactory for another. A social perspective on advertising is an escalation in the national crime rate, an increase in communal rights. So, advertising has been accused of causing either directly or indirectly. There are three challenges to advertisements. The first one is advertising is challenged on the aesthetic front. The bad taste argument exemplifies the line of attack. And the second, advertising is challenged on the moral front. And the third, it is challenged on the economic front. It is difficult to define good taste. The advertisements in India are becoming more and more exaggerated as products tends to level out in performance. So to achieve in competitive advantage, advertising magnifies the unimportant differences and resorts to clever, tricky product promises and claims more and more unbelievable benefits. And now let us discuss the ethical aspects of ethical aspects of advertising. Ethics in advertising. So here, what do you mean by the word ethic? What do you mean by the word ethics? Ethics means a set of moral principles. Ethics means a set of moral principles which govern a person's behavior or activities. Therefore, ethics in advertising means a set of well-defined principles which govern the ways of communication taking place between the buyer and seller. So the advertising benefits advertisers in many ways. Similarly, it makes the public aware with the available brands so that they can make informed choice among the available products or brands. But some of the advertisement doesn't match with the ethical norms of advertising. Such ads causes the political, cultural or moral harm to society. Therefore, nowadays advertisements are highly exaggerated and a lot of puffing is used. It seems like the main area of interest for advertisers is to increase their sales, gain maximum market share, and prove their product best in the market by presenting a well decorated, colorful, and puffed advertisements. In this connection, the ethical and moral principles let us have the ethical and moral principles of advertisement. So advertisers must have sufficient knowledge of the ethical norms and principles so that they can understand and decide what is correct and what is wrong. So we can identify several ethical and moral principles that are particularly relevant to advertising. When we speak of these, we are speaking briefly the three as follows: the ethical and moral principles. The ethical and moral principles of advertising. Truth in advertising promotes, the first one is truthfulness in advertising. The first one is truthfulness in advertising. Truth in advertising promotes a highly efficient functioning in the economy by discouraging deceptive business practices, encouraging the provision of accurate and truthful information, enhancing the competition by ensuring a level playing field, and enabling the informed consumer choices. And the second one is the dignity of human person, truthfulness. And the second one is dignity. The dignity of a human being should be respected. Advertisements should not insult the dignity of human beings. Different cultures and ethnic groups should be presented in advertising as equal with the majority of the population. Special care should be given to weak and vulnerable groups like children, poor people, or elderly people. And the last one is social responsibility. Advertising has a strong social responsibility independent of its known commercial responsibility. Advertisers should have a deeper sense of social responsibility and should develop their own set of ethical and social norms, taking into consideration the values of their society. Therefore, it seems like many of the advertisers lack knowledge in ethical norms and principles. They doesn't understand what is right or wrong, and that's by number of misleading and unethical ads is increasing. But on the other side, some advertisers are giving importance to these norms. When the ethical norms and principles are followed, it makes the organization answerable for all its activities. This reduces the chances of getting pointed out by critics or any regulatory bodies and helps in gaining confidence of the customer. and makes them trust organization and its products. So this is your economic and social aspects of advertising. Hope you understand the concepts. Thank you.